All right, so we're back on our brick project. I got that plastic plywood kind of thing. It's over there. Got that ripped off, and behind it is the old siding from like back in the 50s, the tongue and groove shiplap type. And so what the next thing I gotta do is I gotta do the waterproofing. And what I'm wanting to do is a mechanically applied, which is like nailed or screwed or stapled in this matter, applied waterproofing product, which to me the best is just regular old good old tar paper or asphalt felt paper, depending on what part of the country that you're coming from. But so I'm gonna staple that on, and it works well with the brick. So in this particular case, the things that I got to do is I got to tuck the brick or the tar paper behind here, up underneath here, and I cut a groove in the bottom, so it's going to tuck in there, and then metal flashing is going to tuck in and stick out. That creates a little drip edge, and water can't get back inside there. That's what we're faced with. Let you see the process, how I'm kind of tucking it using a putty knife. And so let's go ahead and get the tar paper on and continue forward. 4 hands are better than 2 in situations like this. Trying to tuck it up, hold it. My helper here, the lovely Catherine Rogers, does a great job helping me, and I always sure do appreciate any help I get with her and the rest of the family. So I was able to get the tar paper in underneath it. This piece is underneath that piece, so water shingles, that sort of thing, lapped over a couple inches. It's tucked up underneath here, tucked about 1.5 inches or so, tucked in behind this. I got it tucked in that channel up above, so you can see that. And then same thing over on that end over there. So I went ahead and got cut some flashing right here to get tucked up underneath, so it's up, you know, this section here is about 1 inch. Stops right here. The next piece I'll overlap, preferably behind. And I went ahead and also did this other side here, because that was going to be the toughest point of trying to get it tucked up underneath. This other piece, it can go in and just tilt in and mortar in and that sort of thing. So this I'm not too concerned about. I'll wait till the brick gets up a little higher. So I believe at this point in time I got my chalk line snapped, and we're about 1/4 inch off the wall down there, 1/4 inch off the wall down here with the back side of the brick. At least that's what I do. But I don't want it super runny, and then I don't want it real thick either. So I think that'll be pretty good. I'll get my first course and I'll show you up close. This mix here is a little drier than normal, just because on this left side, since it's out of level, I'm building it up about 1.5 inches or so on this left side. So drier mix for this, wetter mix, better mix for the rest. Here's my end course, so I went through and made sure I had my end pieces done. This first one on that end I'm gonna do just like this, just because it's got to go up so high. Normally you don't need to do this. Wow, I think a 6-foot level is a little bit overkill, but I didn't have another level at the time, so a shorter level, like a 30-inch level, would work great in a situation like this. So I'm going to go ahead and get that brick kind of set up a little bit more, and I'm going to work on the other side. So that way then I can get a string lined up. This here is pretty wet. That's a lot better. I probably could even stand a little more water on it.
Since the ground was so out of level and the sill was so out of level, I'm going to have thicker grout joints on the left side than I am on the right. So thicker on the left, thinner on the right, and eventually when I get towards the top, it's going to be closer to being level, but also trying to aesthetically make it as pleasing as possible.
So kind of like that. Since I got my mark on the ground, I know if I'm getting too far over, not enough. And that's what it is. This one's going to be a lot thinner.
The brick's going to have about anywhere from a 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch gap on the back side of the brick. So there's that airspace between the brick and the wall. That way water can shed out.
Okay, so I'm getting real close to having my first course complete. See, I got my string line up right on the corner. Being real careful not to keep bumping the string line, otherwise it would just push it over. I went ahead and spritzed the concrete just a little bit. And I'm starting to get into that section where it gets pretty thick. And I've been having, so probably right about here, I'm gonna have another weep hole going underneath. So that's will be a spot where I don't have any mortar. Let's see, right there. You strike off the top, bottom, and sides. Kind of helps give you a spot for it to kind of almost makes like a crown look to it. And I'm really happy that I made some
Every 3 courses I'm going to be installing a brick tie. It's a little metal bracket that screws into the wall and then goes in between the grout joints of each brick. When I get closer to the top, you'll be able to see these ties, just at least the tops of the ties, but know that every 3 courses I use that. I want to make sure I fasten it well to the surface in the back. Down at the bottom it's connected to the slab, so that's not such a big deal, but when it comes to the 3rd and about the 6th course, it does matter quite a lot, so make sure you do that.
Alright, you can see I got a piece I got trimmed. So this up leg is about a 1/2 inch. It's going to tuck inside there. And it's not the full length, so I'll have a little splice in the middle. Go just like this. Something like this, and I'm going to bend it like that and create a little wedge. So when I tuck it in there, flash it. So you can see I got that wedged in there and tucked underneath. Get some brick up to about here, and then I'll finish this section after tucking it up, lapping it like 3 inches here, lapping it about 3 inches underneath this one. So got my mortar all mixed up. Fairly, it's not real stiff, but not too too runny. So what I did is when I mixed it, give it about 5 minutes or so, or even less. All the sands that are in the mortar, it tends to soak up that the moisture, and then you got to add just a little bit more water. Mix it again. Nice mix like that. That's actually, I feel like, a really good mix. This section's going to be hot because of the metal and everything else. Make sure you missed it. Brand new brick, not so much. And you'll notice that masons, when it's raining, like at night, they don't want the brick to be super saturated either. So it's that kind of balancing point. They'll put a plastic actually over top of the brick so they don't get saturated. All right, so I'm gonna put a thick pile in the back, a thinner pile in the front. Get my string line kind of out of the way because I can't get it in there. And get the sides like that. And then I'm going to get right down the middle as well, because that's where the two brick come together, and I want it to be around like this, kind of a U shape. So prop that up, jamming it in there. Before you get too far along, this is tooling. This. You can get quite a ways. So if you're wondering about knee pads, what are the best knee pads? I've used probably every known pair out there, even floor layers of knee pads that go from here to here, and this is by far the best knee pad. I think it's spelled Knee. Knee Throw is what it's called. I found that those, for me, are the best knee pad. Alright, so we're just about down to the last brick. Awesome. Perfect amount. Almost like I meant to do that, huh? Last brick. And shoot, last bit of mortar too. Oh yeah. Just enough, huh? Whoa, almost putting it in backwards. There's gonna be some big grout joints. What do you think, Aurora? Is that gonna work?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead, pause it. Alright, gotta do the final touches here. Taking a wire brush, scraping all the excess mortar off. All right, that is a wrap for this project. So we got the brick all on. I got to do some fixing on that little piece there, but the brick's all done, flashing's all in. I don't even want to caulk any of this because it turns up on the back. Water can't go in, up and over, and all that sort of thing. So under here, I'm not too worried. It's really wide. The brick's on an angle, so unless you're really jamming, pressure washing water in at a horizontal angle. This is the east facing side of the house. So the weather comes from the west facing, so there's not going to be wind driven rain that I'm worried about on this side. So I think we're going to be good. Turned out pretty good. I'm happy with it. It does need to get acid washed, probably in a few days or longer. It doesn't hurt if it's a few weeks and all, but other than that, that's a wrap. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you like what you see, make sure you press the subscribe button, and as well as the like button if you're a YouTube subscriber. If you want to be notified of more videos that I make, which I'm making videos all the time, such as I'm also building a house, so we're doing some videos of that as well. So if you want, hit the little bell so that you're notified that when I upload a new video. So that's it. This is a wrap. Thanks for watching, and look forward to seeing everybody on the next one. Life of a Carpenter.